All right, we're talking about Talladega week for those that are new viewers. Hello, hi. I'm out of town. I'll be back in my apartment next weekend. For those of you that are new, thank you for sticking around. This will probably be more of a rant video. I'll give you an indication of when that stuff starts. We still got to talk about Talladega to some extent because people want to talk about Talladega for whatever reason. Uh, Pierce and I've been putting out videos. I really do put out a ton of plate racing videos, plate racing content. But the ones that I specifically want to implore you to check out are the ones Pierce and I did before the season started, around the end of January, beginning of February, right before Speed Weeks began. And I'll link those in the pinned comment below. We'll do that. I'll put one of the videos where we're looking at the Xfinity optimal lineups, and when we're in another one where I visualized the optimal lineups, so you can at least get a look of or an idea of what they look like. That always makes more sense to me. I got to visually see the story. I got to see the context behind these races. That's just me. Okay. Secondly, that's really it, man. It's Talladega week. Um, my approach is, always has been, and always will be, I'm building for Wrecked or for Wreckfest, for Rex. I'm here to cheer for Rex. That's how it is, man. I probably have a hit rate of probably less than 25%, probably 35%, somewhere around there. If you look at all the races, you know, we'll take the duels out, but the three races to open the season at Daytona, the two at Talladega, the two at Daytona in the spring, the fall Talladega race, and now you throw in Atlanta, it actually might be a bit higher than that. Either way, spring Talladega races tend to be the least likely for big wrecks. Am I adjusting my approach for that? No, I just go in hoping that it's going to be a wreck fest. I understand that sounds dumb, but that's just how I go about it. I am more than willing to lose the fuckload of money I put in this weekend just because it's a plate race, and I would much rather build for chaos than not build for chaos on a plate race. That's just me. I will be 20 maxing for Xfinity. I'll might be doing a bit more for Cup. It's going to be a very expensive investment this weekend, and I am fully prepared to lose every single dime I put in. Now, with that said, we can start talking about um, what I kind of want to rant about. That's really it. Thank you for joining me for the first 2 minutes. It's Talladega week. I'm playing guys from the back, and this is where the rant begins because let's start talking about the stack from the back, guys. So I don't watch any content. I don't watch any other. I don't read any other content this year. I don't watch any other content this year. Pierce is the only guy that I watch. It's because we work together. I trust Pierce, and we're looking at the same type of data, and we both find different ways to look at it, different approaches. He's the one I listen to. Okay. Outside of that, I'm not reading articles. I'm not watching YouTube content. I'm not reading Discord chats outside of my Discord, which you can join and support us at Patreon /BrandonCruzDFS. Um, I'm assuming that you'll probably, if you're interested in joining, you'll probably join in May. But I don't read anything else. So if this is not insulting any specific person because I don't read anything. Okay. I don't This is me shooting from the hip, okay? The whole stack from the back is gonna fucking work, okay? And we're gonna probably have some profanity in this rant. So like I said, I'm trying to warn people that we're getting into a rant because I fully expect this video to be like 25 minutes because we haven't had a good rant in a while. But guys, let's seriously back up here, okay? Let's take a gander at this. Let's use the Xfinity race for an example, and then we'll move on to Cup. When I got away from my phone to load, my good old DK apparoni. Let's take a gander at Xfinity content this week, or not content, the contest this weekend. Okay, Xfinity, 9,400 people in the $10 contest, the biggest contest for Xfinity. You don't got to play the optimal. Ladies and gentlemen, the optimal is not going to be played. Okay, when we start talking about building optimal lineups week in and week out, yes, that's what you want to do. When we get to plate races, it is extremely rare the optimal lineup is played. You are just trying to get guys that don't score negative points or that score the least amount of points that are still positive. Like, if you play guys from the back and you start the guy and you play the guy starting 32nd and he finishes 31st, he's going to outscore guys who get wrecked. It's as simple as that. And this is more so, like I said, rant video, more so just touching on this. This is not really giving any new type of content. You're just here to listen to me rant. I already know there's content out there. There's probably already articles out there of being like, well, when we look at the optimal lineup, we've had 5 people start from the 10th to 15th place, be optimal, and blah, blah, blah. What does that even mean? I hate sheets that look like that. It's just a grid. It's 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, and then it has the number beside that saying it's like 6, 5. This area has been optimal 7 times. This group has been optimal 11 times. That doesn't. What are we showing? What are we talking? That doesn't show anything. You're missing context. You're not. That's a very blanket type of statistic to just put out there. Okay, that's why I don't do that. That's why specifically when I did the video earlier this year called Optimal Lineups Visualized is because I could have very easily just been like, well, we see that a majority of the Cup Series contest, we have a lot of guys coming in from the 26 to 30 position range, and just call it a day there. Whereas I'm like, okay, well, who were these guys? Why was that position optimal so many times? Oh, it's because that's typically good cars that just qualify slower. It's not necessarily the backmarker cars and yada yada yada. But you don't get that when you just post, well, when it's 16th to 20th, having 7 has been optimal in the past 7 races or something like that. Like, you don't show anything. Like, what are we showing there? Going back to playing the optimal lineup, I never try and chase the optimal lineup on plate races. My mentality, my approach has always been I'm gonna play guys from the back half of the field and hope that my entries can finish inside the top 20% in the contest. That is how I always approach it. I'm not trying to land on the optimal lineup. If we backdoor dumb fucking luck, lock our way into that, then so be it. But I have always, always, always played the bad cars, played the bad drivers, played the stack from the back approach. Now, granted, yet again, what are we doing? We're probably doing 20 lines for Xfinity. We'll use Cup for example this weekend. If I do 20 lines for Cup, I will probably have 15 lines that are just straight, actually probably less. I will have 13 lines that are just made from people 25th on back with no interest in who the driver is. I'm just playing positions, getting the ownership leverage that I can get. Okay, like for example, I'm trying to think because Greg's sitting. I'm trying to think of a guy like David Reagan, for an example, is gonna start in the back of the field. He'll probably be the more popular type of punt, okay? And he'll probably still come in around like fucking 15%, okay? Whereas I'm going to slam the shit out of BJ McLeod, Cody Ware, trying to think of other guys who are going to be in the back that are typically that are just, very single digit type of ownership. Like I would probably end up having, like, I forgot what Greg Biffle came in at Daytona. I should probably have these. I don't remember. But like Cody Ware, I'll probably have 35%, 40% Cody Ware. I'll probably have 35, 30% BJ McLeod. I want to just play the leverage plays. That's just how it is. And then you're going to have guys be like, well, that's not the optimal play. That is not going to take down a tournament. Oddly enough, this week here, not trying to take down tournaments, just trying to I can build lines that finish in the top 20%. I can do that. I'm not concerned about that. We'll take the luck wreck that bumps us into the top 10%. But for the most part, I'll most likely have all my lines in the top 50% of contests. Okay? That's not cashing. We got 50. We got to get to at least the top 22%. That's where the wrecks come into play. But I can at least clear half the contest, half the lines, because we're going to have people play the fucking pole sitter We're going to have people play guys starting in the top 10. And that is just, in my opinion, a deadline. Taking it right there. What was Hamlin in the 500? Hamlin was some bullshit high ownership and he got wrecked, man. It was unbelievable. Why are people playing certain drivers? Like, I know we're looking at track history. Let's take a gander and look at track history and try and understand why we should just throw that stuff away. So let's do that real quick. All right, so we're here. We're looking at times these drivers have been optimal. All right, so when we look at the guys I'll most likely play a ton of, like I said, BJ McLeod has never been optimal, okay? But he's not going to kill my line, okay? It's the long play. And that's why I say, look, the hit rate here is all built on these guys wrecking. If this race goes green, or if this race goes green and then doesn't have a wreck or finishes under rain, like the Xfinity Series race where Jeb Burton won, in and under rain, I lost my ass. The race where, here, we'll trigger some people. When NASCAR rigged the race for Bubba Wallace, lost my ass because nobody wrecked. Those are situations that I understand. I go in understanding, look, I'll most likely lose $700 this week if these races go green, if it ends under rain, if it goes like that. That's perfectly fine. I know that going in. Cody Ware, never been optimal, but when you look at his past Dega finishes, if he starts, how many cars have we got this week? Say Cody Ware starts 39. Okay, actually, we'll bump it up. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He starts 37th and he finishes 28th, 19th, like he did when Hamlin, when that whole fucking wreck fest happened out of 4 with the field on the apron and everything. He finished 19th there and he got wrecked. 28th. He's gonna gain me at least 7 place differential points. Not knocking the ball out of the park, but not killing lines. When we look at BJ McLeod, gonna be running late, gonna be most likely laps down. We need to realize that going into this as well. These back markers are going to go laps down, so hopefully we get wrecks early in the race. But still, BJ McLeod most likely going to start last, probably the slowest car in the field right now. But 30th, 25th, 31st, when you look at complete wreck fest like Atlanta, now Atlanta is going to be a more hybrid. I'm going to assume that we're going to have more chaos at Atlanta when trends continue, when we're several years down the line. I think we're going to see Atlanta be a highly volatile type of race. But for an example, BJ McLeod finished 19th at Atlanta. Cody Ware, 26th at Atlanta. Greg Biffle, 20th at Atlanta this year. When you look back at Daytona, BJ McLeod finished 27th in the 500. Off pace, not racing for anybody, not racing for anything, passing people that are being wrecked. Finished a lot better than the high-owned Denny Hamlin play. Cody Ware finished 17th in the 500. Greg Biffle, unfortunately, had had I forgot if it was transmission issues or whatever the case was, finished 36, wasn't able to take advantage of stuff like that. Landon Castle, going to be running the back of the field. When we look back at Landon Castle's career, never, ever has a chance to win the race. Never, ever has a chance to really, honest to God, get a top 15. You can see that he has some top 15s, but it's just not there, ladies and gentlemen. When we look at that, you're like, well, Landon Castle's just not fitting the rules that we need for drivers to be optimal. Who cares? Who cares? He's not losing you any positions. In fact, he's only been optimal one time at Dega. I'm pretty sure that was 2019 in the fall. But when you look at where he's finishing, 34th, 11th, 21st, 29th, 28th, 20th, 34th, 14th, 24th. And when you look that he's most likely going to be starting in the mid 30s or at least in the low 30s, that's a positive gain, okay? He's not going to kill you. JJ Yaley, looking like a very ugly play. I'm going to be on the guy, okay? Nobody wants to play JJ Yaley. Everybody wants to play Corey LaJoie, where Corey LaJoie ran into a really good luck streak of being optimal several times because he'd qualify in the back and he'd finish in the top. He'd either do very close to a top 20 or inside the top 15. Okay, we need to look at these in context. Noah Gragson, most likely going to wreck in this race. Probably going to carry probably more ownership than, say, J.J. Yaley or Landon Castle, Biffle, Ware, B.J. McLeod, but it can still work. Look at where Noah Gragson was running in the 500 this year. Gragson was optimal. He was running well. Here I go again saying optimal, but he was running well. There's an example. Got caught up in a late wreck. Anybody can get caught up in a late wreck. That's just how it's going to be. He self-spun in Atlanta. Unfortunate, but absolutely didn't murder your line. I forgot what he got at Atlanta this year, but didn't absolutely kill the line. And so on and so forth. Like, use track history to figure out where the ownership's going to be, and then just fade the shit out of that ownership. That's my opinion. Um, I absolutely personally hate the whole we got to play the optimal line here at super speedways. I don't believe in that at all. Um, I just do not believe in that. You don't have to get that crazy insane. It's all about ownership. Like, for example, when we look at the Xfinity Series race this week, let's bring this up. All right, so let's take a look at the Xfinity Series guys. My favorite, the guy that has probably openly lost me the most amount of potential in a line. He is not, I would not credit him with killing my lines, but certainly hindering the performance of them. The worst plate racer I think I have ever witnessed, year in, year out. I'm nearly always 25% on good old Caesar Bassarella. Look at this fine gentleman. The main concern is he is in Elijah Martin's car this week. Might have to bump that ownership down because that car will most likely start mid-20s. But when you look at Caesar, 38th, 36th, 12th, 36th, 29th, 30th, 29th, 38th, 13th, 32nd, 38th, 14th, and 17th. Not screaming confidence, but he's also not screaming ownership. When we look at cars that have no fucking business being in this field that will maybe possibly make it, Nally Decker, Gray Golding, God willing, this 47 car makes the race. Do I play Gray Golding, a car that is almost guaranteed to have a mechanical issue? Most likely. I'll probably have 10-15% of Gray Golding. Jesse Iwuji, the rolling chicane himself, the man who will most likely cause a wreck if he's anywhere near the field, probably going to have 15 to 18% Jesse Iwuji. It's all, for me, stacking from the back and not, well, technically stack from the back doesn't mean just take the last 6 positions. It means, like, do the back half of the field, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. I'm playing most of my lines with guys starting from 20th on back. I'll build lines building the last 6 drivers. I'll build lines using the last 8 positions. I'll build lines using the last 10 positions. It doesn't fucking matter. When you build enough lines, and that's for me when I'm mass entering my super speedway lines, I don't expect these lines to finish first in the contest. I expect them to cash. That's all we're hoping for, and we're hoping luck carries us farther forward. Okay, that is just my personal approach of how I want to go about Talladega. If it goes green, which that's why I say this so much, because people will be like, God, dude, it went green and I lost money. You cost me $300. I've told you 600 times, my guy, that if it goes green, you're fucked. You're not going to win money. But that's my approach there. When we get to short tracks, when we get to real racing, I want to chase the optimal line. This is a situation to where there are so many potential lines in play. It's not necessarily like, oh, you need the one obvious lap leader and then a second lap leader. That ownership will probably combine to be around 80%. It's not one of those. You can build so many different lines that won't be optimal, but that'll score very well. That'll score very high, depending on how the race goes. And that's just what I lean into. Okay, personally, that's where I'm at. That's why I said, look, there's videos where I actually do go into this. We go into Well, let's actually break down these races. What caused these guys to be optimal? What caused this race to go this direction? Oh man, hey, if this race does go green, you might want to consider playing one guy that starts between 15th and 10th. But do you just play any random guy, or do you play the colleague guy in the Xfinity Series who starts in the top 15, who didn't qualify in the top 10? Like people don't mention that. Like it that's what pisses me off. Like, where's the context? You can't just say that stuff. Like, why specifically Xfinity Series? Why are those positions optimal? You know, why are some of those races have an optimal guy starting inside the top 15? Is it just some random fucker there? Or no, it's a colleague car. It's the colleague car who started the furthest back of the three colleague cars, had the most place differential, which wasn't a ton, but he had the most of the colleague cars that are just going to train the Xfinity Series race. Like, context is everything here. That's why I don't like these articles. I don't like these. I already know there's going to be videos. I already know there's going to be articles of just listing the the groups and numbers that are optimal. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think that's just a waste of time of approach. And I would probably lose even more money trying to build the optimal line for these plate races versus just playing the back half of the field. That's just how it is. And especially, eh, it's so funny. For the longest time in fantasy NASCAR, it was, oh my God, the secret play is to stack from the back. And then it got from, once that picked up, then it was like, oh, now we got to get optimal. How do we get optimal? And then people have like started slowly building lines that, yeah, sure, tend to be more optimal, the higher percentage of being optimal, but they run under risk to where a lot of those lines are really in danger of not cashing based on one driver having an issue. To whereas a lot of my lines, I'm trying to think because last year I'm trying to think of lines like in the NASCAR Millionaire Maker for the 500 this year. I cashed. I made money. Wasn't close to taking down a tournament, but we made money that weekend. When we What race was it last year? I think it was the Fogelman race when he won. When Tyler Hill finished second, my I had somebody get wrecked in the line. I finished 10th, I think. Either way, the point that I'm trying to make is with my lines, and I like when one of my guys crashes, I'm not worried. I'm not really concerned. I'm more so looking at I might have to take that phone call. Well, phone call ended. I just saw the phone. When we look at, I actually do got to take this phone call. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on, give me a moment. All right, I'm back with the phone call. Shortening the video length. I mean, we're already at 23 minutes, but yeah, like the whole oh, the stack from the back doesn't work. I don't know about you guys, but like anytime it's a wreck fest, dude, I see grain. Anytime I see these fucking teams destroying shit with these dumbass drivers, I'm happy as hell because I'm like, hell yeah, hell yeah. Especially the smaller teams. Now it gets kind of crazy. I don't know if Jason White's in this race. Um, it's more concerning when I do see guys starting up front. How did I do when Snyder wrecked with the Snyder wreck at Daytona? I don't remember exactly. I think all my effort was for the Millionaire Maker. Um, I just went blank on that stuff. Anyway, and I've done videos of showing how I build the lines, and you'll see. I think the one I visualized, I was like, look, if you have the optimal lines visualized, and then you look at my lines, not even really trying to chase those optimal lineups, you see that I build pretty similar to that. Sure, I'm very much a bottom feeder heavy type of lineup creator, but that's where I'm at. And in terms of projections, I do it I've changed it because I've had some feedback of being like, well, why do you just project guys for 25th? Because it's a fucking plate race, my dude. Are you kidding me? Hell, normally what I do is I project everybody who starts in the top 10 to finish 10th. I project everybody who starts in the last 10 positions to finish probably 25th to 20th, and then the mid part of the field around 15th. And then I call it a fucking day and build lines off of that. I really don't even use projections for these plate races. I more so try and gauge where I think ownership's going to go and build from there. It's still like it's so interesting hearing guys like, or most likely seeing guys, if I look at content, be like, yeah, you want to hashtag stack from the back, but not really. And then you look at like these fucking cheat sheets, which I want to also put out. You can tell I'm in a very ranty mood. When I was at DFS Tavern and I started the whole like color coordination, like, oh, this is a cash play. This is a dominator play. Back when we would call them dominators because nobody's dominating races anymore. I I was the first to do that. Like, come the fuck on, man. And that's fine. I'm not taking credit because other people can do that stuff. But this pivot backs into my example of the stack from the back. You have guys being like, well, you don't want to stack from the back. And then I guarantee you, if you look at people's sheets and you look at my stuff, you'll fucking just see the back half of the field listed as cash plays. Like, are we crazy? Like, what are we doing here? Just admit, just tell everybody, just build fucking lineups from the back half of the field and pray to God it's a wreck fest and call it a day. There's not much more analyzing you need to do from that. Like I said, personally, I'm not trying to land on the optimal lineup. I'm good enough building my 20 lines with at least 5 drivers from the back half of the field, okay? And I will, like I said earlier in the video, for Cup, I'll probably build 13 lines with guys 22nd on back. And then the last 7 lines that I'll make, I'll slowly get more and more interested in the teens, like 17th to 18th to 19th. I'm not fucking playing guys starting in the top 10. I'm not playing guys, and I'm certainly not playing if we get a situation where we got Hamlin starting in the 20s. Fuck that. I ain't playing Hamlin. Not playing any big name drivers. Not playing any of that stuff. Just not doing that. That's how I approach it. That's why this video was more so. Look, let's go down a rant avenue. Let's go down a rant road and call it a day. We don't need to be like, well, continuing. Let's take a real look at like, for example, who's a guy who might show up and actually be here to race at the end of the day? Like, Austin Dillon, his average running position at Dega, suggests that he'll be running in the front pack of the field. And, that leans to him most likely maybe trying to be optimal. Whereas I look at that and be like, dude, fuck that. He's running the top half of the field. I hope he wrecks his ass. I hope he's upside down. And yeah, so let's end with like some quick conspiracy theories. I think I got about 5 minutes left before I gotta go. Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 3 at Dega with Larry Mack on the pit box. Ladies and gentlemen, if I would have known William Byron yet again moving into the cancer story, I've been out of town, haven't been able to really check it a whole lot, haven't been able to. I really haven't had a lot of time to be on the computer. Just I've been doing stuff out here, but William Byron's mom diagnosed with cancer. Come on, you gotta fucking play these narratives, ladies and gentlemen. So when we get to Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 3, you play him if you think he wins. You don't play him if it's anything but that. In my humble opinion, in my humble tout ego, you play Earnhardt if you truly, honest to God, believe NASCAR rigs the race for the 3, or you don't play him at all because Earnhardt is one of the worst Earnhardts I've ever seen in my life. The man is a walking domino that just knocks down his own opportunities before it's even there. You remember the IK9 incident? The IK9 withdrawal from NASCAR? It was all Jeffrey Earnhardt because the guy was like, I want to go cup racing. You promised me a cup ride. Jeffrey, just race the lower series. Why are you so set on the cup series, my guy? Like, this is a sympathy race in the 3 car for Richard Childress. I don't know what Childress is doing. I'm not sure what's going on, but Childress's heart has grown 3 times his size and has given Earnhardt a 3 ride. It's a black number 3 at Talladega. Richard Childress is also like, fuck it, Larry, you want to ride again? You want to be on the pit box? Come on, man, get in that 3 pit box. Put that hat on, you know. And what is going on here? This is what a disaster. It's line up clear as day to where that 3 car is either wrecked or it's winning. No ifs, ands, or buts. Personally, I'm not playing Jeffrey Earnhardt. I'm not going to do it. Don't want to deal with it. And when he wrecks, I'll just say I fucking told you. Or both situations. If he wrecks, I'll say I told you so. If he finishes first, I'll say I told you so. Um, but it's so dumb. What are the bad juju do we got going on in this race? Clint Boyer's going to drive the 28 Davey Allison's car on the pace laps? Are you kidding me? You really want to mess with that? The man who died in a helicopter crash going to this exact track or leaving this exact track. I don't remember. Look, I have so many death information cases in my head. I cannot remember if Allison was leaving. I'm pretty sure he took off from the infield and crashed. I could be wrong. Please correct me in the comment sections if you're still listening, because I probably won't bother to check that. All I know is he died, and I'm pretty sure it was on takeoff. I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me correctly, he takes off, he's up in the air for a very short amount of time and crashes. I don't want to be driving that car around. I don't want to be in a race where that car is there. I don't want to be at a weekend where that car is there. Okay? Not going to do it. Lastly, these next gen cars. We'll see what NASCAR does, but the first accident, ladies and gentlemen, and we had a car flip over. Network TV didn't even catch it, which shows you, which unbelievable. Please, NASCAR, please, or not NASCAR, please, Fox, NBC, tell your announcers we're back at the track. We're not even in Charlotte anymore. We are at the physical track. Look out the window. Gentlemen, that shows everybody. That shows that Fox is telling the announcers to not look at the track that they are at, to look at the screen in front of them. Because we did not know that Harrison Burton flipped over until we saw a replay. Are you kidding me? Do you think Benny Parsons would be looking at the camera? Hell no. Parsons is out watching the track, watching the racing. Wish we had you back, BP. You think Bestwick was doing his famous NASCAR calls looking at the screen of what the camera was showing? Hell no, he's looking at the window. He's enjoying life. I fully expect to see nothing but zoom in shots. And I'm telling you, people, you can do it. I believe in you. I'm not going to give you the links, but I believe in you. You can find streams on the internet that have no commercials. I haven't watched a NASCAR race with commercials in probably 3-4 years at this point. So don't be that person on Twitter. God, please don't be that person on Twitter. Oh my God, another commercial. Oh my God. You know what you are? You're a simp for the corporations. Just stream. Just find a stream online. Who cares about the ratings? Don't come at me. You gotta watch the Fox stream to give us rating. Like, get the fuck out of here, my guy. These plate races are perfect races to just watch with no commercials. Sit back, have a beer, watch with your friends, and root for a wreck, root for a catch fence. Yet again, I mean, the Xfinity Series race, I have no clue why. What is it, starting at 4 local time? Starting at 3 local time? Bob Pock was like, well, we got 4 hours. We should be able to get the race in. We're going to have like 4 red flags in the Xfinity Series race. We're going to have a car upside down. They're going to have to repair the wall. It's going to be raining, and then we don't have lights at Talladega, so they're going to call the race early. I don't know why we're still in these situations. I don't know why we're still here. I don't know why Talladega does not have lights. It's unbelievable. It's insane. It's wild. Oh, but the infrastructure can't really hit. It's Talladega. Are you kidding me? These people in Alabama have nothing to do other than going to this damn race. Like, we can, look, I don't understand. We got those stupid ass solar panels at Pocono, and we're just not using them at Talladega. I don't understand. You could just fill the back straightaway, There's no stands there. You took the stands down years ago. Just put solar panels there and build the goddamn lights, and then let's have a night race at Talladega. It's unbelievable. Full on rant episode here. Thank you for joining me. Haven't done this in a while. Probably, I don't even know if it was enjoyable, but I get real antsy when I ain't in my own little apartment, and we're close to 2 weeks. I'm ready to head back home, ready to sit in my chairs, ready to have my two screens in front of me. I want to go back and play Counter Strike. Uh, I'm getting antsy, having to get it out. So yeah, real quick summary. Um, the DFS coverage for speed weeks for plate races make me want to hang myself. The broadcast, don't bitch about the broadcast. You can easily find a commercial free stream online. It's not that difficult. Um, and yeah, just stack for the back. If you want to get into specifics, chasing the optimal line, okay, then you got to get a bit different. But for the most part, stack from the back, you'll be fine. Play the guys who aren't going to be owned. It's going to be like, wow, why am I putting so much money on these guys? But God willing, when they have the big one and it takes out the major guys, it's going to be fine. What's the last point? Bubba Wallace. Okay, Bubba Wallace, good plate racer. Straight up, look at his average running position. He's up there. Why is he up there? Because he's running with the Toyotas. He's running with Hamlin. Hamlin is keeping him up there most of the time. So when you look at Bubba Wallace and his average running position, it's going to be high up there. When you look at Bubba Wallace and his average finishes, it's going to be up there. Did NASCAR rig the race? No, they did not. Is Bubba Wallace a good plate racer? Yes, he is. But it's a hell of a lot more fun to say he's not and piss people off. Yeah, thank you guys for joining me. We'll be live before the races, more like a let's chill, let's shoot the breeze, let's have some fun before time before before what is it before live before lock, my picks before lock, whatever the case is. Come hang out, have some fun. We'll make some catch fence jokes. We'll make some guys flying into the crowd jokes. We'll make some jokes about hopefully we're more violent than Le Mans wreck in the 50s, and we'll have a good time this weekend. It's Talladega. Let's enjoy it. Let's root for wrecks. Despite the fact that this weekend on average, produces the least amount of wrecks on a plate race, let's still lean in that direction. Let's have some fun, and yeah, that's just how it is. When you play these plate races, just fully expect to lose your ass and money, and then if you don't, that's how it is. We're here to have fun this weekend. Very little type of actual content creating. We're here to have a good time. And thank you guys very much for listening. Hope you enjoy this. If you didn't, sorry, it's Talladega. However, F1 is back. They're in Italy, so we can spend most of our free time watching F1 stuff. Oh, but F1 is not fun. F1, I keep losing money. I look, I don't know what to tell you, man. Max keeps having issues. We've had a historic amount of mechanical failures from Red Bull. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Um, I don't know what to tell you, man. We're gonna keep playing Max. We're gonna keep playing Leclerc, and races where they don't both kill each other, or one of Max. If Max doesn't have an issue, we'll be fine, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out, and yeah, for 40 minutes. Thank you very much.